Hey everybody, it's me Stacey here at Scrapbooking Made Simple, scrapbookingmadesimple.com. Hey, look at what I have power. The lights are on everywhere in our building, oh, and at home. It's like holy smokes, artichokes and wahoo kachoo all put together. You see, I live in sunny Southern California, and well, y'all know what's been going on here, and literally for the past few weeks we have been with power, without power, with power, without power. Wildfires, no wildfires, wildfires in our backyard, it's just been a thing. So today is the first day in almost 3 weeks that we got to work an entire day at the shop. An entire day without losing power or having a fire to worry about. It was like, wow, this is what it's like to be normal again. So I am here with today's Saturday with Stacey YouTube class. I have got a technique-based class for you today. I'm using penny black and I am using Ecoline markers from Royal Talens. Now, I've been using Ecoline markers in my In the Studio with Stacey classes on Saturday, but I skipped a class. I had to. We had no power. We had a wildfire going on. It was what it was. So I'm adding them to today's YouTube to make up for kind of that class that I missed because I didn't get to show you one more thing that these Ecoline markers can do. But I will be back on Tuesday using them again for the last time for January. Oh, what a technique I have for you on Tuesday. But today it is all about penny black. I've got the newest, latest, greatest from them and wonderful techniques and fabulous samples to share with you. But before we get started with that, we have winner, winner, chicken dinner to talk about. Oh, winner, winner, chicken dinner. It's good to say that too. I have two of you from YouTube number 588, which was all about the 49 in Market new release from Sizzix, and boy did we have fun with that, right? I mean, yay, loved that. The embossing and the glitter, and it was a whole lot of fun. Who do I have? Now, these two lucky ladies, they not only liked this video, but they posted a comment below. If you're joining me during the premiere, you will notice that there's a live chat going on over here if you're on a desktop or a laptop, or below if you are on perhaps a different device. Now, these two lucky ladies, they liked the video because that determines how much money we give away, how much that gift card's gonna be worth. And then they posted a comment below. That comment went into our random selector who picked two winners, and these two ladies have won $100 to Scrapbooking Made Simple. We give away 2 every week. Wahoo kachoo. Now, I can promise you, if you do not post a comment below, I will never call your name. So it can be anything from hey, it literally can be hey, it can be how you doing, had a great day. You can tell us about things that are rough. You can think, if you've had a hard day. You will find that the SMS peeps will gather support around you and post comments back to you or send you hearts and hugs and love, and it's just a great community here at Scrapbooking Made Simple. So these two lucky ladies, they liked the video, they posted a comment below. Live chat does not count. Our first winner is Laura M. Taylor. Hello, Laura M. Taylor. Congratulations. You are a winner chicken dinner here at Scrapbooking Made Simple. Congratulations. I'm so happy for you. Wahoo kachoo. But you're not alone. We have 2 winners. So our second winner is Penny Kitzmiller? Penny Kitzmiller, is that it? Hello, Penny, how are you? Congratulations. You too have won a $100 gift card. $100 gift card. What are you gonna spend it on? Oh my gosh. All right, Penny and Laura, we have to do the winner chicken dinner dance because that's what we do here. And it's kind of the thing. And so if you want your winnings, you gotta sit up straight. Get ready, get into the groove because we're gonna do you're a winner, chicken dinner. You're a winner, chicken dinner. Wahoo, kachoo for you. I know you're the winners, but honestly, I feel like I'm the winner because we have power and we worked an entire day. We were here on Wednesday. We had power for 2 hours on Wednesday. 2 hours. I thought power came on. I thought, okay, everybody, come on. We can get to work today. Come on in. We got here and literally 2.5 hours later, unexpectedly, it just turned off. I mean, the lights just went off and I literally had to walk to the back where nobody could see me and I just had to have a moment. And then Thursday, no power. But today, woo! So I do have to ask to bear with us. We have been virtually closed for 2 weeks. So we are behind, but doing our best to catch up. I will try to post updates on the homepage, on our website, the main page of our website. And just know that we're not out of the woods yet. We still have wind events coming, but any day we can work is a good day at Scrapbooking Made Simple. So we appreciate your support, your prayers, and your grace and your understanding. And just hang tight. We're going to get through orders as fast as we possibly can while we have power. So, all right, I'm gonna tilt on down. I'm gonna show you some samples, and then we're gonna get started. And today it's all about: are you messy? Do you want to go? Do you like just stuff everywhere, inks everywhere? Just let it be. Are you a fly by the seat of your pants kind of gal, kind of guy, kind of crafter? Or are you a very meticulous, you want it a very specific way, you like to have complete control over everything, you want it the way you want it, and that's the way it's going to be done? I'm both of those people. Depends upon which day we're talking about. I can be inky hands over everything, and then the next day I could be, nope, I want it this way. I think in business, I'm more meticulous, and in crafting, I'm more wild and crazy. I think that's probably true. When we're talking about business, Stacey, she's very A-type. She wants things the way she wants them, and she negotiates hard for what she needs, and she expects what she expects. And then crafter Stacey is like, woo! Let's just play. I balance both sides. I definitely am a left brain and right brain kind of person. It just depends upon, I have to tell people when they talk to me, are you talking to maker Stacey? Are you talking to designer Stacey? Are you talking to business Stacey? Who are you talking to? Because then I put on different hats and I literally can change personalities. We can be having this huge conversation about business and very intense and serious, and then they can say, now we want to show you new products, and that Stacey is gone, and it's like, oh, show me new products, yay! And it's like their head spins like, wait a minute, did she just change like that? Oh, yep. So today we're going to do a little bit of that. I've got very wild and crazy, and I've got very controlled, meticulous, A-type. You decide what you want to be, depending on what you like better on what day. So I'm going to tilt on down and I'm going to get started for today. I've got a few samples to show you, and then I'm going to walk you through some of the product, and then we're going to get started. Ready? Down we go, everybody. It's good to see you with lights on and not lanterns. Girls got to do what a girl's got to do. You're like, lanterns? Yeah, I literally was doing videos by lantern in my house. Oh, I gotta get this to not move as much. Lanterns in my house. It was definitely a thing. All right, so pretty penny black. Pretty. Always, it's penny black, right? Love them. I've got stamps and dies for you. I've got a couple different ways of getting everything. Isn't that beautiful? So the stamp and the die. And I'm going to walk you through that real quick. So the I Want It All bundle is a little, there's many ways of doing this. So I have the I Want It All bundle that retails for $158, but it's on sale for $125.99. Inside is the sentiment stamp set, which is Love is friendship. Happy Valentine's Day, my friend. I love having you for a friend. Friendship gives wings to the heart, as there's no distance that can set them apart. You make my heart happy every day. So you've got good things in life are better with you. Hope your day is as sweet as you are. A friend is what the heart needs all the time. So you've got a sentiment set, but then you've got several sets that are the stamp and the die. So a stamp and die set, a stamp and die set, a stamp and die set, and then you've got the cherish die with the border and the words that go with it to finish your sentiment. So in the I Want It All, you have what, 4 dies and I don't know, 5 stamps. So 1, 2, 3, 4, yep, 5, 4 dies and 5 stamps. So you've got the cherish, you've got 1 of the florals, 2 florals, 3 florals, and a sentiment. So it's a pretty big bundle for that price, but they're also available just the individual sets. So you can buy just the stamp and die set. You can buy just the stamp and die set, just the stamp and die set, just the stamp, just the die, or on some of them, you can get just the stamp. Just the stamp. Just the stamp in case you don't want the die. Now, we don't have as many just the stamps as we do stamp and die sets. You can't get the die by itself. It makes no sense. You need the stamp to go with it. So I leave it in your hands. Do you want the I Want It All bundle? Maybe you just love, love, love this stamp right here and you don't need the die. Or maybe you love this set and you want the stamp and the die. We leave it up to you, but that is how the bundle is put together. And the I Want It All retails for over almost $160, $158, and it's down to $125.99, or you buy it the way that makes your heart happy. We also have a few other sets that are not part of the bundle at all. So, and also brand new, and these are only stamp and die set. So the only way to get them is stamp and die set, and yes, I've got darling samples that I will show you at the end. But these are not part of the I Want It All bundle. They're just by themselves. They are new from Penny Black, and I do have samples to share with you. All right, so today we're going to be working with Ecoline markers, and I think there's not 2 reds. This is in the wrong place. Uh-oh. I'm positive I need... Oh, Stacey. I think this goes here. I think this goes here. I think this goes here. I think I got my markers mixed up. Okay, so Ecoline markers. I have been using these in the studio with Stacey classes. And again, those are full-length classes that are using fine art product and showing crafters, makers like us, paper crafters, how to take beautiful, beautiful fine art product from Royal Talens and translate it into what we do, how we would work with a watercolor marker. And I've got 2 classes out on these already. You can go back and there is a playlist that will show you the classes, and it will say Ecoline Class 1, Ecoline Class 2. On Tuesday, I will have Ecoline Class 3. Now, because of the fires and the wind events, I had to miss a class. So I'm going to incorporate them today with the Penny Black so that you get the technique I was supposed to show you last week or 2 weeks ago when I couldn't. But I do have 4 sets right now, and on Tuesday we'll be adding 2 more sets. So I'm going to be using these today. I'm not going to be using specialty paper. I'm going to be using 100-pound white cardstock for everything I do today. In the studio with Stacey classes, I am using Van Gogh mixed media paper, which is beautiful paper. But for Saturday with Stacey, I thought I would do it with just 100-pound cardstock so you can see how this works. They're very easy to work with. The markers are lovely and they do so many different things. Today we're also going to be working with the blender pen. See, I was supposed to work with the blender pen in the class that I had to miss because we had no power to film. So today I'm going to be working with the blender pen. Not all of the sets come with a blender pen. This is the dark set, and it does not come with a blender pen. But the pastel set does come with a blender pen. So we'll have the blender pens open stock for you, and they are not refillable, but they are not expensive. And I think you will see the benefit in having them. Now, I'm gonna start with kind of the more messy, I don't wanna say messy, the more let's let it be technique. Like let's do the let's just let it be. Let's spray it and ink it and see what happens. I think I'm going to start with that technique first. And then I'm going to go to the very more controlled technique. The more A-type technique where you're very specific about what you do and how you do it and where it goes. And so I think I'm going to start. I'm just taking some of my paper and cutting it down. Just so I have some smaller sizes to play with. And I'm going to be using my stencil and stamp platform from Sizzix today. So what do I want to start with? Do I want to start with this set? I've got the die-in stamp for it. Sure, why not? We'll play with this set for a little while. See, I don't edit my classes. What you see is what you get. They're not pre-done. They're not scripted or anything like that. So I kind of just let it kind of be. All right, so I think that's the one I'm gonna stamp, and I'm gonna be using embossing powder. But the first thing I'm gonna do is let's play with some color on some paper. Ooh, fun. So if I take my dark set, and please know that when you get these in the set, the packaging kind of looks like the pins have leaked, but they have not. It is just the packaging, and my understanding is they're changing the packaging, and I'm like, oh, okay, that works for me. I think I will take maybe the yellow and the red, and let's see what happens. So I'm just going to play. Now these are watercolor markers, dye-based watercolor markers. They have 100% gum arabic in them as the binder. There's no synthetics. They have a nylon nib, is my understanding, from Japan, and Royal Talens is out of Apeldoorn, not too far from Amsterdam. So, and it's been around since 1899. So these work in about 1 million different ways. And again, I've been showing in the studio with Stacey classes different ways of using these. But I'm just going to scribble because I'm good at scribbling. I am an excellent scribbler. No rhyme, no reason. Now, again, 100-pound paper. Put those back so I know what set I got them out of. 100-pound paper. And then I'm going to take water. Just water. That's all this is water. And I'm going to spray it. Can you see what's happening? It's blending, it's moving. Lots of water. Look at that run into each other. So pretty. And then I can take it and I can either let it dry on its own, or I can take a heat tool. So my two colors made into a third. And then because you can with these, I mean, look at how pretty is that? Because you can, I could come in and add more color. Wet on wet. I can come in and throw some more color down and spray. It'll reactivate. And just start to move it around. Water bottle is your friend with these. Move them in onto each other. Move them around. And just kind of let the marker, the ink do its own thing. And look at how pretty is that background. I've got some here. I can either use a piece of paper and dab it up. Now all I did was literally scribble, scribble, and then spray. And the minute you start adding that water, that ink starts to move. So again, dye-based. You can do wet on wet. You can come back in after it's dry and add in more. This one's a little softer in color. And again, not watercolor paper, not specialty paper, 100-pound cardstock. Now I used the same colors, but they came out entirely different, depending on how much I scribble. I scribbled less on this one, more on this one, and how much water I use. Let's do something maybe in the dark. So this is I've been using the dark set so far. Oh no, maybe I'll use the darks. And let's go scribble, 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 scribble. And maybe scribble, 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 scribble. And scribble, scribble, scribble. Now it's hard to believe that something so just like that, scribble, 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 is going to turn into something beautiful. Take my water. And I like lots of water because I like those colors to move and to blend. Oh, I think I'm just gonna leave it like that. That's fab. If I want to add a little more water to spread it around a little bit more, I just spray. And look at how easy these backgrounds are to do. Super fast, super easy, little control. You have some control, but not a lot. You're kind of just letting it be free. And spray. Let the water do the work. Don't be afraid of the water. Let them move and blend. Look at that. Look at how pretty and easy was that. And then you can let it sit to dry. And I put my finger in it right there, so if I need a little bit more color, add some color back in. I could make these all day long because they are just so easy to do. Now you're saying that's a lot of ink to leave down there, Stacey, but it isn't. It's mostly water. I use such little scribbles on these that it really just leaves mostly water down here. Let's see, we did some of those. Maybe we do, well, maybe we leave it like this. Should I do one more? And I'm just using paper. You never know what you're going to get, but you don't know what you're not going to get until you try. And paper is easy peasy. You've got paper and then water. Bang, bang, bang. And you just let it start to move into each other. Can you see how it's moving and blending? And then when I think I'm done, I can either let it sit or let it dry. Look at how beautiful. Oh, I like that one. I'm going to do that combination one more time. That way I have plenty to play with. Or what is this? Maybe this color? Oh, we'll see. I don't know. It's kind of blue. But I don't know what we're going to get. Let them blend. Look at that yellow go in there. Is that fabulous? Oh, I think I'm happy with that. I'm going to let this one sit and dry too. Okay, these are very cool. And a little bit more right there just to... These are very easy to do. And it's beautiful. And all I did was scribble. Scribble, scribble, scribble. So these are drying. Ecoline markers are so forgiving, so easy to use. Really prevalent in the fine art market, but in paper crafting, not so much. And I don't know why, because they are so simple to use. As it dries, it kind of flattens itself out. All right, so we did a bunch. All of these in just a matter of a few minutes. Every one of them is slightly, oh, I got a little bit of ink there. Every one of them is slightly different. I'm just gonna blend that little bit of ink out. I got a little bit of ink there, but not anymore. Every one of them is slightly different. And I just kind of let the ink, let the marker, let the dye-based ink do its thing. Now, what are we gonna do with these? Well, we can stamp on top of them. Absolutely. So let's move these here. And that there, and that there. In fact, we'll use a couple stamps, a couple different stamps, a couple different dyes. So I've got this one here. And maybe I use that there. Or that. Let's just grab my stencil and stamp tool. So I've got my Sizzix stencil and stamp tool, and I'm going to be using as a stamp positioner today. So I don't need the alignment tool that you use when you're using with stencils. I do need to put my piece of paper down. My paper's a little wet, so I don't know how well it's going to stick to my sticky grid right now. It's still a little bit wet because I added that little extra to try and get rid of the ink that I got on there, but I think I'm just going to go here. And see what I get. So I've actually put some of it in this big area right there that's kind of that pinky area. And I've got some of it all the way into my yellow. I'm gonna press my positioner down. Grid side is always facing up. Yeah, see, I didn't think it was gonna stick real well, but that's okay. We're just gonna go for it. Down, down, down. My paper's wet, so a little bit. Down, down, down. That's good. Now I'm going to need to use a waterproof ink. Can't use an ink that's going to react with water because then it's just going to smear everywhere. So I'm using the Jacquard waterproof black dye based ink, and it comes in the pad and the re-inker. We are waiting on our order for this, and it should be anytime soon. So love this ink. It will not move with water. So, or Copic markers or alcohol ink markers or watercoloring or whatever you're doing. If you're going to add liquid to it, you want the ink that isn't going to move. So give a good press. And then up. Nice, but I think I'm going to come back and do one more ink. And because it's a stamp positioner, I don't have to worry about it not lining up. As long as I don't move that paper underneath, my stamp's going to line up every time. And this is an A4 size positioner, so you've got oodles of room to play with. You can use A4 size stamps or stencils, A5. You can use larger things, or you can do more of them at once because you've got that larger platform. That's looking good. Now, I take it off to ink up because I don't have a lot of room. You can leave it on, your lid on, and ink up while it's there, just straight like that. So you're not taking it on and off. Although it is so easy to take this in and out. It doesn't even click in and out. It's so simple. All right. So I've got that one done. And I colored without coloring, which works for me. Now this one, what if I took, or maybe I take this one. Oh, maybe I do this one. Let's see, maybe some of these. So I'm gonna put this back away for right now. And I'm gonna grab these. I think I'm going to do those two. So let's push my paper kind of into place. See if I can pick these up without picking up my paper. All right, and let's ink them. And down we go. Now ink on my platform, which has got a piece of sticky grid on it. Sticky grid comes with your stencil and stamp tool, and it is what holds your paper in place. You will have to replace it every now and then because eventually it will stop sticking. That looks like a great impression. It really does. I don't know that I need to do another one, but we will. And up. All right, so I've got two of them done. And let's put these back away. And I think I'll take that third set just because I can. And we'll do one of the third set. Gosh, that's pretty. So I've made some beautiful backgrounds by scribbling. Scribble, scribble, scribble. And now I'm stamping the image on them. And I'm using a waterproof ink. Really super important. Okay, beautiful. Okay, so I have 1, 2, 3 that I've done. Now, what do I do with them next is really up to me. Really up to me. I can come in, and if I wanted to, I could, I'm not going to get rid of these, we might use these. I could take one of my markers. This is out of the Botanics set. Love the colors. I could take one of my markers and see how I have all the leaves in here? I've got oodles of leaves. I could color in everywhere there's a leaf, right over the colors that I've got going. And look at that, right over the top. You don't want to press too hard because you've got this beautiful nib, a Japanese nib, absolutely beautiful. So it doesn't take a lot of pressure. And I've done all the coloring with my scribble, scribble, scribble. Now I'm just going in and coloring in the leaves, adding some dimension. Anywhere it would have the green. I'm just adding a little. Here, I think I'm going to leave this alone and not add in any green. I think I might leave that one alone too. And then I can die cut them. So, because each set has a matching set of dies, I can come in and die cut. So I've grabbed my Big Shot machine. I've got my base platform. I've got my A shim or my solo shim that allows me to do wafer style dies. I've got my cut plate, and I've got a do not cut plate. Now these are small enough that I might be able to get away with 6x6 plates. Let's see, can I find some 6x6 plates? So I like using 6x6 plates when my dies are small enough. If they fit a 6x6 plate better, it really does keep the warpage down on your plates. Now 6x6 plates are sold in a 2-pack. If you are buying the Stacey Park limited edition teal, you can get teal glitter. You can get 2 in 1 pack, or you can buy the multi-pack from Sizzix has, where you get 1 big full size, 1 6x6, and 1 slim plate. Really up to you what you want to get. I currently do not have the Stacey Park plates, the teal, But I do recommend if you buy them, you get 2, because the way you use them is that you start with 1 6x6 as your cut plate and 1 6x6 as your do not cut plate. Eventually your cut plate, you have to replace it at some point. Then you take what you've been using as your do not cut plate, put it underneath, it now becomes your cut plate, open a new pair and put a new cut plate on. And you just go through it that way. The plates will last so much longer. Oh, I moved it. Well, gonna fly by the seat of our pants. Did I go all the way? Yeah. Fly by the seat of our pants. Look at how pretty. And I didn't do any coloring at all. I scribbled, and I added some spray of water, and bam. Now you may want to tape these in place. Like I said, I'm a girl who kind of flies by the seat of her pants, so I'm just going to go for it. One roll is all you need. These are easy dies to use from Penny Black. And look at how beautiful. And I didn't do any coloring at all. I literally scribbled and sprayed. That is my kind of crafting. Let's cut this one. That's this one here. I almost hate cutting into this paper because it looks so beautiful. But who would have thought? Just some markers and some water. You could use a magnetic platform if you wanted. Sizzix sells a magnetic platform. I am not using it because it does not come with your machine. I have it. It's right over there. But it is it's not an inexpensive tool. Most of you would have taped that down, I know. They're beautiful and they're so easy to do. Loved this piece of paper. I did. And then we had this one here. So let's grab that die. Is it this one? Why, yes it is. Yay for me. Now what you're hearing is me putting all my dies on my gotcha tool. This is a Stacey Park tool from Sizzix, and it does pick up all your dies. Bam. And keeps them right there for you. That way you don't misplace them, you don't lose them. If you accidentally drop them in the trash, it will find them for you. I'm going to say I'm pretty close. And I'm just going to go for it. So because my die is close to the size of my 6x6, it has less warpage. When you have plates that are a little bit longer and the die is smaller, well, there's nothing to kind of help the plates from warping. The smaller the plates, the closer the plates are to the size of the die that you're using, the less warpage you're going to have. So let's see, I've got this. And I've got that. And I've got these. From Scribble, 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 spritz with some water and let it do its thing. I did 0 coloring, 0 blending. And yet, yay, yes please, I will take those any day of the week. But let's change it up a little bit, shall we? This time I'm going to stamp first. So I don't want to lose these because they're beautiful. Yum. This time I'm going to stamp first. Oh, that's a good one. That fits good there. And I'll do, so I did that one. I'll do maybe that one. And I think I'll do that. All right, so 3 stamps. Bring over my stencil and stamp tool. And this time I'm going to stamp first. So, paper down. Stamp where I want it. No. There. Paper down, stamp where I want it. No. I'm just gonna go with what I started with. Close it up. Remember, grid side facing you. Oh, that's gonna pull my paper. New stamp. Close enough. This time I'm gonna use embossing powder. So I'm gonna ink it up with an embossing medium. So this is by Wow. It is their embossing medium. It is ultra slow drying. That's true. So it stays wet way long enough for you to get embossing powder on it. No problem. It leaves kind of a watermark. If you're not sure, you can always ink it again and do it twice. And it comes with I love you always and forever. What stamp does this one have? All of me loves all of you. Oh, yeah, I like that one. So all of me loves all of you. Or should I pop it? Maybe I'll pop it. All right, so I've got it all embossed and ready to go. Embossing powder down. Now let's add some, well, the embossing medium is down. Let's add some embossing powder. And I am using the Wow. It is super fine primary ebony. So super fine means that it is ground super fine. So all embossing powders are kind of the same. So I'm sure that they have a regular ebony and a fine ebony and a super fine ebony. It all depends upon how fine they grind the powder to. The finer the powder, like the finer the glitter, the more detail it will cling onto and the clearer the image will be. So now my powder is going to stick anywhere that well, it's not Versamark, it's the Wow. I'm so used to Versamark. The Wow embossing medium has stamped. Now it's powder. If I wipe my hands across it, it's going to wipe away. It is what it is. It has to heat. You must heat this because again, if I were to take a piece of paper put my embossing medium on it, take my super fine embossing powder on it, until I heat it, it will just wipe away. If you leave it like that, it will just wipe away. You have to heat set. So you need a heat tool. I'm in the midst of playing with the Wow heat tool. So as soon as I've made my decision on yes or no, then we'll either offer it for sale or we won't. I have the Sizzix heat tool, which I've been using for years and years. I'm trying a new one to see what I think. So now I heat. Now this is not a blow dryer, nor is it a paint stripper. A blow dryer is not going to get hot enough to melt this plastic substrate into a solid, which is what I need to do. So a blow dryer is not going to be hot enough. A paint stripper may burn your paper. So you're going to add a little heat. And as you see the color turn, as you see it get to be a darker black, then you know you're good. So this has got a little bit more of a gloss finish to it here, where down here it's still powder. Darker up here, lighter down there. This is a kind of a matte finish. As soon as I heat it properly, it will become more of a dark glossy finish. Now, how long does it take to dry? It takes as long as it is for your paper to cool to the touch. Once your paper is cool, then your embossing is done and it's not going to wipe. And it does leave that raised finish of what you would feel on formal invitations. Beautiful, easy peasy. All right, let's put this one. This one goes here. I think I might use that later. This one goes here, and this one goes here before I lose all my stamps. Okay, so there's that. See, I lost this one. Oh, it's there. Okay, so I've got one done, and then let's bring this one over, and we're going to do the same. Wow, embossing medium. Good press. And up. Now, I am still on the let it be, you're gonna go crazy, you know, you kind of let it go crazy and do its thing. I haven't started on the A-type. You want it exactly where you want it. You want it how you want it. You want it to look a very special way, very clean, where this is more artsy-fartsy. Okay, so there's two. Let's go ahead and let's emboss this one. Or you know what? We'll go ahead and we'll stamp the next. And that will show you how long that embossing powder will stay. Put this back on there. Oh, the girls are going to be so impressed that I put stuff back. Don't get accustomed to it. I just don't want to lose my stamps and figure out where they are. Okay, so then I've got these. And close it up. Pick it up. Embossing powder on, or embossing medium on all of them. You can do them one at a time. I kind of lack in patience that way. And down in a good press. And then up. Oh yeah, I think I'll do it one more time just to be sure. So because I had stamped with ink with these earlier, you can actually see that I've got a really good impression on some of them because the ink's transferred. Now that ink's gonna hide once I put, you can see the line, that's gonna disappear once I put my embossing powder on it. Okay, we're gonna go for it. The worst that can happen is that it's paper. Now the embossing medium is water soluble, so you can take a baby wipe and just wipe it right off your stamp. It's not gonna harm your stamp. If you don't wipe it right off your stamp, is it gonna harm your stamp? No. Embossing medium is just a pigment type based ink. Kind of it takes a long time to dry. You don't have to worry about it on your stamps at all, whether you're using clear or rubber. Now let's grab this one. Remember, I did this one and I haven't put the embossing powder on it yet. And even though I took time to do that other stamp, I'm still able to throw embossing powder on here and it sticks. It is a slow drying medium. Okay, there's one. And let's go ahead and we'll heat this one and then I'll do the next. I just put it all away. You use such little embossing powder. And I love that it's super fine. The finer the embossing powder or the finer the glitter, the more detail you get from it. And once I see it start to turn to that darker black, I slowly start to move my heat tool over. I'm not doing this. The reason I'm not doing that is because it's like putting a pot of water on the stove and you get to a boil and then you take it off the stove and it immediately stops boiling, but then you put it back on and it immediately starts boiling. If you are adding heat and then taking it off, it's gonna stop turning. Then you gotta get it back over and reheat, and then you take it off. You don't wanna go all the way around. You wanna add enough heat so it changes. But every time you move it, it instantly starts to cool down. Then you move it back and it starts to heat, and then you move it away and it starts to cool down. Just let it be. As you see it turn, move your heat tool. And then I think I'm gonna let it cool. That looks good. I'm looking to make sure I got all my areas. Run my finger over it, no problem. There's no powder left. Let's do this one. I'm just gonna let that powder kind of walk on down. Let gravity do the job for me. Oh, I got my fingers in it. I got a great little fingerprint right there. I got fingerprints everywhere on this one. All right, we're gonna die cut. We'll die cut this one, and that way the fingerprints won't matter. All right, I'm not gonna worry about it. See, look at, I got fingerprints everywhere because I had a little bit of embossing powder or embossing medium on my fingers and I was touching the paper. Look at perfect thumbprint right there. So note to self. Okay. I'm gonna go for it. We're not fixing it. It is what it is. Oh, that's a great fingerprint. All right, well, that's a really good fingerprint, and that's a really good fingerprint. But you just go for it. You just work with it. You can absolutely restamp and start again. But I'm a girl who's just, it's all good. It's all good. Now we're gonna go back and do what we did before. We're gonna scribble, 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 and we're gonna spray, spray, spray. So let's do. Scribble, scribble, scribble. And spray, 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 and let's see what we get. And let's start moving it around. All right, let's see. So here I'm almost devoid of color. Maybe I grab a little bit of this. And I decide if I'm happy or if I want to add more. But that embossing resists the color. So I've got that embossing going on, and it has resisted and moved away. The color has moved away. And then if I want, I can come back in. It's entirely up to me what I want to do. And heat. So now I've added green in, I've added more yellow. And I just let it do its thing. I want it softer, I add more water. There's no right, there's no wrong. And I can just go in and play. All with water and some scribbling. Who would have ever thought with some simple water and some scribbling you'd make magic? The backgrounds are amazing. Now I'm not going to die cut this. I'm going to leave this one. I'm not going to die cut this one at all. I'm going to let it dry and then maybe we'll mat it. But it's beautiful. The background is beautiful. Let's do this one, and let's do this one in pastels. We haven't played with the pastels, so let's play with the pastels. This came out of Botanic, and these two, the red and these two, came out of Darks. And let's play with some pastel. And maybe we do like the purple and the blue. And we kind of scribble, scribble, scribble. And scribble, scribble, scribble. And scribble, scribble. And scribble. So that's my coloring technique. Scribble, scribble, scribble. Right? Scribble, scribble, scribble. And then let's mist. And then you kind of let the marker start to do its thing and start to blend into each other. And move together and blend the color. And anywhere the marker's not going where I want it to go, I just spray a little bit and add a little water so the dye, the ink is attracted to it. Now that's all I'm going to do, and I'm going to heat. This is so fabulously soft. Look how beautifully soft that is. I could come back and add a little color where I want. I could come back with that pastel green. And right over the top. And just be done. Now this one I am going to die cut. I'm going to die cut that one. But let's do this one. And this one I'm going to do in the darks. Scribble, scribble, scribble. And then spray, spray, spray. And look at that. Isn't that amazing? How it just starts to move and dissolve. Pretty. There's so much water, all I have to do is touch it and it starts to move. Gosh, I'm gonna be mad that I got my fingerprint in there because I like it just the way it is. And I'm just letting the water move everywhere. Well, I will say I'm very unhappy I got my fingerprint in there, because I wouldn't change. I would trim this out. I wouldn't die cut this. Even with the fingerprint, I'm gonna let it ride. Look at how pretty is this, right? I know the fingerprint's right there. So, you know it was made by me. You have my fingerprint on it. But it's so beautiful. It's so beautiful. I'm in love. Okay, so I did that one. And then we are gonna die cut this one, I think. So I'm gonna say that this is the die. And this one was done very pastel, very soft, very sweet. Ecoline markers, pretty remarkable. And again, if you go back to our playlists and you look for In the Studio with Stacey, you will see 2 more classes on Ecoline where I don't do anything like this. Nothing at all. The techniques are completely different so that you get you get a better understanding. Because I could do a class every week for probably a year on all the different things Ecoline markers can do. But each week in January, I give you a different technique using that in the studio. And then in February, we move to a different product. And look at how beautiful and sweet is this. Penny black, they're gorgeous. But those markers sure do help. Yummy. And then if I took this, I think this is absolutely gorgeous. I think it's beautiful. And again, I'm not using specialty paper. On Tuesdays, I use a specialty paper. I use Van Gogh mixed media paper, which really does give you a lovely result. But for today's class, I'm using it as if you have, this is what you've got, 100-pound paper. So this is what we're using. But the better quality the paper, the better quality the results, all based on the sizing that's in the paper. And sizing isn't about the size of the paper, it's about the process that is added to it, added to the pulp of the paper or sprayed onto the paper that allows for different absorbency rates in the paper. How quickly does liquid seep into the paper? The more sizing you have in your paper, the slower that absorption rate is. The slower that absorption rate is, the more you have time to play with it. And with Ecoline markers, you can do wet on wet. You don't have to wait for anything to dry. Oh, this is just heaven. Now, I'm sorry, you may look at this and go, I don't think so, Stacey. That's okay. Everybody has their own tastes. I'm in love with the color and the pop and the very simple flower. All right, so we started with stamping. We stamped the first ones after we did our scribble, 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 mist, 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 color, color, color. Then we embossed with embossing powder. So, and I know it's not perfect, but neither am I. And I know it's got that big fingerprint. But not everybody gets a Stacey fingerprint. Oh, that's really wonky, Stacey. That's better. Look at those little thin shavings. It's still pretty wonky, but we'll let it be. Can I though? Can I really let it be? Can I? Oh, not a great tape job. A little bit more. A little bit more. And then we'll move on to I want it the way I want it. I want to have control over what I'm doing. I don't want it to be willy-nilly. I don't want to let it up to fate. That's where we'll go next. And I'm not going to cover up that fingerprint. I'm not going to try and hide it. It was part of the process, and I'm good with it. All right, so let's move on. Put those there. I still have these that I didn't even use yet when we were just scribble, scribble, scribble. All right, so moving on. This time we are going to have control. This time we are going to know where we're putting things. This time we are going to play with color and be very specific about it. And for that, I usually use paint brushes. Is when I go in here and I paint, I palette paint, I usually am using a paintbrush. This time I'm going to use a blender pen. And a blender pen is an Ecoline pen. And it really doesn't blend. I don't know why manufacturers call them blender pens when they don't blend. So if I were to take two colors, and I was to draw with them, scribble, 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 scribble. I would think that a blender pen would allow me to go in and blend these together. And in reality, it makes more of a hot mess than anything else. It's not meant to take two colors and try to make them one. This paper does not like that at all, and it really does just make a mess. So a blender pen, I don't know why. Now the blender pen nib is going to get colored after time. As long as the pen runs clear, you're good to go. How blender pens do work is with a palette. Now this is a tearaway palette. So this is by Royal Talens, their art creation. There's 20 sheets in here, and each sheet is its own palette. Now I can tell you that I've only torn off one so far in a month of using it. You can use this sheet over and over again before you move to the next one. And for the price, I've decided I really, really like them. Now I can come over here and I can scribble, scribble, scribble. And because this is a non-porous material, that ink, that dye-based ink, sits right on top of my palette. And then I can go in and pick up my color with my blender pen. So I don't have to use water. Now, depending on how much color you pick up, that tells you that will determine your rate of gradation. So as it's working out of my pen, my color is getting lighter and lighter and lighter and lighter and lighter. My rate of gradation is all determined by how much ink I load into my blender pen. The more ink I load, the more ink I will have to color with. The longer it will take for my gradation to work its way out. Now, you're never going to be able to pick up all the ink off your palette, but I did pick up a good chunk of it. And because of that, I'm going to be able to go longer. How much ink did you pick up? Now, mind you, I just scribbled. I just scribble, 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 scribbled. That's it. That's all I did. And then I picked up almost all the ink because I wanted to have a long gradation time. Maybe I'm coloring something larger. And I just go in. You're never going to pick it all up. But the more you load into your blender brush, which really isn't a blender, it's a paintbrush without the water. I think that's about as much as it's going to let me load. The longer my gradation. Now once my marker, my blender goes clear, I can move to my next color. So if I want to pick that up, all I do is I take a baby wipe and bam, done. That's cleaning off. I can clean this so many times before it finally says, okay, tear me off, you need a new one. Now I could do my red. And depending on how much ink I load my blender with will determine how long it takes for my gradation to happen. So let's just load a little bit. But if I were to load as much as my blending can hold, and I just kind of let it sit in there and absorb and pick it up. So you have options when you're using this. It's a paintbrush without the water. It's a way to make a simple gradation, simple coloring, without having to have a paintbrush or a water brush handy. You're good to go. And then once it goes clear, now are they refillable? No. Are they expensive? No. Do they last a long time? Yeah, depending on how much you use them, absolutely. So now let's stamp. And again, using a waterproof ink is always going to be a better opportunity. That way you're sure nothing is going to smear. And my Jacquard waterproof based ink, my Sizzix stencil and stamp tool, using it as a stamp positioner today, didn't add any ink over there. As long as I don't move my paper, my stamp will continually line up. There we go. That looks good. I'm here, so I might as well do 2. So Penny Black makes absolutely gorgeous stamps and dies. And the quality is stunning. Always from Penny Black. They're a company that really stands by what they do. They've been around for years. And they really know, they know what they do well, and they stick to what they do well, and it's beautiful. Now, what color do I want to do? Do I want to play with the reds? Do I want to play with the purples? And the pink, maybe the mauves? Decisions. All right, so I'm going to put a little bit here. And then I'm going to pick it up. Make sure that yep, I'm good. I'm going to pick it up. And then I'm going to come in and I'm going to start from the bottom and take a little bit off like I do my paintbrush. And that's going to lighten that color. A little bit off like I do my paintbrush. And that's going to lighten that color. So just like I do with my paintbrush, I pull the color off if the gradation isn't going as fast as I want it to go. Okay, let's go a little darker. Let's see, maybe this one. A little bit darker on the bottom. Nope, I need more color. Pick it up. And come in. And as I'm coloring up, I start to pull some of the color off, just like I do with my paintbrush. And that'll make that gradation happen faster. Pick up some color. A little bit more. Pick up some color. Take it off. Keep moving up. Take it off. Keep moving up. Take it off. Build a little bit more down below. Add a little bit more color, and I can be very, very specific on what I'm doing and where I'm putting it. It's all about loading up the blender and then taking the color off. So you control the gradation with how much you're taking off. Load up the color. And here I want it a little darker. And then I want it light. And then anywhere I need it darker, I can go back in and lay in color. So instead of using a paintbrush, I'm using a blender. And it allows me to get highs and lows and midtones. And then I can come in and load my brush. I hope I got that purple out. And color, wipe, color, wipe, color, wipe, to where you have almost no color at all. And a little bit darker towards the bottom. Oh, I didn't get my green out. And then more green. Let's get my purple out. I'm just gonna run this until the purple is gone and then pull in some more green. My black ink isn't moving all over the place. Get my green out and go in with a little purple. And I could even take maybe a tad bit of brown. Oh, that's very dark. Let's see if I can get that really lightened out. And just shade my leaves just a little bit. But I'm pulling almost all the color out. Just to add a little shade. They're easy to use. They're very forgiving. Whether you're doing it with water, whether you're doing it with the blender pen, they're just very, very, very forgiving. Oh, Stacey, let's get my lids on. 1, 2, 3. So I can wipe my palette off and grab a new color. Make sure it's dry. Pick up some color. And then start. Take off some color. Keep going. Take off some color. Keep going. Take off some color. Keep going. And start your gradations. A little bit of color. And keep going. And before you know it, you're almost done. It's all about this, and it doesn't hurt your nib. Look at that. So you say you're not a colorist. Neither am I. But you can do this. And it all starts with the right type of marker. Not every marker is built the same. Ecoline is from the fine art world, so you're starting with a better quality of marker to give you a better finished result. And they're so pretty. They really are so beautiful, and they're so easy to do. Can you blend your colors? Yes, yes, you can blend your colors. Ooh. That layer just right on top and change the whole thing. And I'm doing the same thing, pulling the color off so that it dissolves in. That has completely changed the whole look. Yes, you can blend your colors. Absolutely, you can blend your colors. Do I dare? Do I dare? You're like, don't do it. Don't do it. Probably not, but... It's only paper. Well, I did it anyway. Yes, you can blend your colors. And yes, you have complete control. Can you do it with embossing powder? Yeah, of course, absolutely. I think I'll just do the same one again. Absolutely, you can do it with embossing powder. Now, mind you, I didn't clean my stamp after I got my ink on it, so I'm probably going to get a little bit of black on my image, but that's okay. It's going to just hide right away with the embossing powder. And it actually allows me to see if I've got my Wow embossing medium everywhere. It's kind of helpful. So you can ink your stamp up a little bit first and then put your embossing medium on top of it if you want to have a better idea of, did you stamp in the right place? Did you get the whole thing? There's one, there's two. There's my other piece of paper. So the opportunities with penny black Stampin' Dies is amazing. They're beautiful. I absolutely love them. They're so elegant. And so much can be done with them. And they just make you look like a rock star. Nope. Meant to go that way. Now I've got a little bit of black on my pad. That's okay too. It's not gonna harm it. You're being creative. It's all good if you get color on your embossing medium. It's not gonna harm it at all. Boy, you should have seen some of my pads in the past. You can go back a year or two and you're like, oh, Stacey, it's time to change. I think even the SMS girls made me change one of my pads because it was just, I had everything on it. Embossing powder, glitter, you name it, but it still worked. Okay, so let's emboss those real quick. Let gravity do its job. Anywhere that embossing medium is, the embossing powder is going to stick and hold. There's one. Got my finger in it again. Well, at least I'm consistent. I'm just gonna let it be. If I'm not perfect. My crafting's not perfect, and I'm okay with that. Not everything. I'm never gonna be perfect. I'm handmade. I'm homemade. I'm made with love. And love comes with fingerprints sometimes. Okay, that one looks good. Okay, lots of little dots in my embossing, but I'm going for it. So let's take some yellow. Make sure that my clean. Pick up some yellow. Start at the bottom and work my way to the top by pulling off my color. So it gets lighter and lighter and lighter. And it makes the perfect gradation. Just like you would a paintbrush, only no water and no paintbrush. And away you go, fast and easy. Pastel, super light. Oh, I didn't get rid of my yellow. Pick up a lot of that pastel. You don't even have to touch it off. It gradation out real quick. You get that high-low real fast. Oh, that color's beautiful. It is So soft and so elegant. And I can just be quick. Look at how elegant that color is. It's so zen. I love the pastels. Let's see what this one is. Gosh, it's blush. It's barely there. A little more down to the bottom. Pick a bunch of the pastel up. Because it does the gradation super fast. You might even be able to just go in there and just add a little bit just at the bottom. That color is beautiful. So whether you want to scribble, 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 or you want to have control, it's entirely up to you. But you don't have to choose. You can do both. Well, you can do a lot with the Ecoline markers. And the penny black stamps, they just make you look good. It's just the way they are. They make you look so good. Lid, lid, lid. Okay, well, I know it's here somewhere. We'll find it. I know it's here somewhere. Darker at the bottom. The darker your bottom is, the lighter your top looks. So I'm just dabbing in a little color at the bottom to darken it. The darker the color is at the bottom, the lighter it looks at the top. And I could just keep going. Whether you're using embossing powder, you're using waterproof ink, you're blending and mixing and you're scribbling and spraying and letting the ink move itself. You're stamping straight to it and making your background so it has, I mean, it's beautiful. This is the embossing powder. Both of these are the embossing powder. And then the ink over the top and then lots of water. Or you go in and you do your backgrounds, you stamp, and then you die cut. This one's done with embossing powder. These are done with just ink. There's oodles to be done and beautiful things to make. And it all starts with the right tools for the right job. Penny Black makes beautiful dies and stamps. They just do. They excel at it. Royal Talens makes beautiful fine art product. They just excel at it. Oh, there's my lid. They just excel at it. So let's put, so today I played with the pastel Ecoline markers. I played with the botanical markers. I played with the darks. The only set I didn't play with that's currently available that we are carrying is Fashion, but you can see those on in the studio with Stacey class. And then on Tuesday, I'll be releasing 2 more sets. So today, well, the 4 sets that we have available right now, and again, you can see them all in the studio with Stacey classes, is Botanic, Fashion, Darks, and Pastels. Amazing markers. So much to be done with them. And then the blender pin. Not every set comes with a blender pin. The pastels come with a blender pin, but the darks don't. The blender pin is important. The waterproof ink, whether you're using an India ink or the Jacquard ink, StazOn isn't going to be what you want. You can try Memento. The Tuxedo Black, sometimes it moves, sometimes it doesn't, but an India ink or the waterproof black from Jacquard does not move. And yes, they do make a refill for it. We've got the Wow. Oh yeah, okay, we've got the Wow embossing medium, the Wow embossing powder, and the Wow embossing marker, in case you wanted to go in and be very specific about where you add your embossing. Now, if you want to ensure that you've finished, you're happy with it, and you don't want it to get disrupted if somebody were to add water to it to spill on it, whatever, we've got Dorland's wax. And this is a sealant, a wax-based sealant. It doesn't feel waxy. It dries completely clear. And you take it and you just rub it all over. It does not change the color of your inks. It does not smear anywhere. If you haven't seen Dorland's wax, I don't know where it's been my whole life. You can take it on, put it on a dauber and do it that way if you don't want to use your fingers. I probably am using way too much, but let's let that one seal for just a minute. Doesn't disturb anything. I'm just moving it on down. Okay, so difference is okay, got water on it, it's going to reactivate everything. That's not what we're looking for. Going to reactivate it all. Or Dorland's wax. And the water now beads up. Beads up. It is very cool. Doesn't disturb anything, and it beads up. Way different than what I was doing, than what I had with the other one. It just beads right up on top. So if you're doing any kind of watercoloring, you want Dorland's wax because you seal it and it doesn't change. It doesn't change anything about your image. It doesn't change anything about the color, but it dramatically changes what happens to it if you accidentally get water on it or liquid on it. Yep. So Dorland's wax, we've got that for you. Again, it's in the studio with Stacey. I use it in the studio with Stacey in those classes. So then we've got the penny black bundles. We've got the I Want It All, where you've got the Cherish stamp set and the Cherish die set. I did not use this today, but we do have a sample. You've got the brand new, the Sentiments. You've got the beautiful stamps and dies that I did use today. It does get you the latest and greatest from Penny Black. And if you just love the one, you can just get the one. You do not have to buy a bundle. And then we have the cute little ones that I have samples of. Now these are sold die and stamp only. So lots to choose from today, but again, it really was about the class. And another way to use these markers so that you feel successful with them in whatever it is you're doing. And on Tuesday, I will be back with a whole nother technique that doesn't look anything like this. Completely different. All right, let me show you some samples that I have. And the girls used a little bit of everything. Look, isn't that beautiful? So pretty. Isn't that pretty? Just beautiful. And this is a Stacey embossing folder. That's my French twist embossing folder. Here's with the kids. You're like, well, Stacey, where was this stamp? Oh, they used a couple of them. They used a couple of them, but that stamp is that one. It's right there. Look at the kids. And again, using my French twist embossing folder for them. Aren't they darling? So these are the little kid sets. Oh, look at this. Gail, beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. That's that penny black stamp and die set. Oh, and aren't they cute? Catherine, those are darling. They're so cute. Oh, and this one's beautiful. Claire, oh my goodness, Claire. This is gorgeous. And then Gail put together a waterfall card. Gail put together a waterfall card using the penny black stamps and dies, right? Yummy. And then we've got another little ones with the little people in another one of my embossing folders from Sizzix. Here's the Cherish. So the Cherish has cut the border and the word. Isn't that gorgeous? Claire, beautiful. Really beautiful. Oh, and the next one's stunning. Katie, hello. Oh my goodness, is that beautiful. And then I bet these are Elena's. So Elena's so good. She's teacher's pet. She always makes sure well, Katie got my diamonds in there. She got my fanciful framelit in there. Elena got my golden rings embossing folder, actually in both of them. Let's see what else I've got over here. Oh, here's another one with the Cherish. So you can see how it cuts the border out, and then you cut the word out and lay it right on top. And this one's from Katie. I love the color choices. Love the color choices. And Elena. Ooh, this one's pretty. Yes, please. Hello. Love just the single flower, Gail. That's beautiful. So beautiful. Oh, Katie, this is gorgeous. See, look at those colors. They're just stunning. Oh, and from Catherine, and Catherine's got my embossing folder in the background on pattern paper, and she's inked it. This is just fun and happy. Oh, and look at this one. This is using my Shine Bright embossing folder. This is Elena. Look at how cute. And Gail, using my, well done girls, using my Golden Rings embossing folder. She's color and die cut out. Stunning. Oh, they're all teachers' pets. They all ended up using some of my product. Katie, this is my fanciful framelit, and she did the emboss. Look at how beautiful is this. Simplistic, gorgeous. And then Elena with the little bunnies. And it looks like I've got a tag up here from Catherine. Look at how cute. I love the little bunnies. Little pocket tag. And it was all done using the new penny black dies and stamps. We played, we inked, we spritzed, we colored, we did ombre, we let the ink do its thing. We didn't bother it. We let it blend and mix. We were very specific with the colors we wanted to use. We weren't specific. It is all about options and what it is you want to do. When you've got great product, making great things is just easier. It just is. When you start with something good, you end up with something good. Really, it's a lot easier to create when you're starting with product that is better. It just is. You get a better finished result, and it's easier to work with. And it's like, oh, I can do that. Yes, you can. So, I am Stacey, and this is Saturday with Stacey YouTube class number 589, I think, featuring penny black stamps and dies along with Ecoline watercolor markers from Royal Talens with a little bit of this and a little bit of that thrown in. All of it will make your creativity just spark. You'll get those markers, and when you see all the different things, and then you've got these beautiful dies and stamps to play with. Or maybe you hung for the technique of today. Maybe you already have something very similar to this, and now you can try it for yourself. The watercolor markers are very special. So I don't know if your watercolor markers will do the exact same thing because these are of a higher caliber. So try, absolutely try. Maybe it's close enough. You never know. But you gotta give it a try. If you don't try, you will never know. So thanks for hanging with me today. Thanks for being here. The next time I see you is Monday at 6 p.m. sunny California time, 8 p.m. Central, 9 p.m. Eastern for a Make It Monday event. And that is where we bring you such a value that it's like, really? How does she do that? That's the business side of me that does the negotiation. That's not the creative side of me. If the creative side of me took over the business side of me, there would be no business. All right, you guys, it's been a blast today. I have power. I'm so excited. I will see you on Monday. Have a super weekend. Do not forget to hit like. Do not forget to post a comment for a chance to be a winner chicken dinner. I am Stacey. This is Scrapbooking Made Simple, and we just had a really great time together. Until next time, bye.